it up a notch.
G'day teachers and welcome to Tech It Up a Notch. I'm Rach, your curriculum guide, here to help you connect tech to powerful learning.
And I'm Claire, your tech guru, ready to demystify the digital world for your classroom. All right, what are we featuring today?
It's one we've been promising.
We have, and it's one of our favourite things. Yeah. It is Canva.
So let's go to today's question, and that might help drive our discussion.
Yes.
My students love making posters, but I spend too much time policing image rights and inconsistent formatting. How can Canva help streamline this, and is it safe for students to use?
Thank you for your questions. Look, what is Canva? How would you explain it, Rach?
I would say that it is a blank canvas.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
How'd they get the name?
Because you can make almost anything.
Oh, it's so good.
Almost anything.
And it's evolved so much. Like
almost too much because it's overwhelming.
It is a little bit, yes. But the very latest drop that happened only last week, I haven't even had a chance to, I watched the keynote, the second last one, and that was phenomenal. That was when the whole code with me and the create that whole bar came up, and I think it's just sort of a newer addition from that. Moving forward
so I
from
think
there.
What we might do today is just a bit of a brief overview and maybe some of our ways that we've used it, because there is so much that you can do in this product that we could make a whole podcast just devoted to Canva, but I wouldn't, because they probably will, because they've got great content.
There probably is. Yeah, so, well, basically, Canva, it's a website and it's an app. You can access it by visiting canva.com in a web browser, or you can download the app on your mobile device. You can sign up using a regular email, your Google account, or any other social login. Basically, there's a few different tiers of access for Canva. It is free, but it's very basic starter pack for individuals, and you can use a free account. If you, and I have paid for this before, and I'm sure you have too, in the past.
I never paid for it.
Gosh, I did.
Went straight to education.
I didn't know. So a lot of people don't. But Canva Pro is where you pay for it. And often, because it came up every time I wanted to use an animation or an element or something, and you can only use the Pro version with the little crown on it. So I got so annoyed with that, so I just started paying for it.
And you know where it's probably good for you is if you're making content for things like Teachers Pay Teachers or
yeah.
So
there's a whole other thing about that.
If you're making content for something that's not directly related to your employment, Canva Pro is probably the one for you.
Yes, definitely. And I know there's like a side note, but there are a lot of rules about using Canva for Teachers Pay Teachers, because you can only use the free stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, because you haven't made that yourself. And on Teachers Pay Teachers, they're very strict with, we're totally gone off tangent here, but they're very strict. You have to use their stuff. So I've had to download clip art from Teachers Pay Teachers and pay for it.
Annoying.
Download fonts, everything, and use PowerPoint to put it all in, download it as a PDF, and you have to link it back to, because if you're buying stuff off people, you have to credit them. And that's the only way you can get away with it. In Canva, it's very limited because you can't get it if you're using like a pro account that you pay for, but then you're using those elements for you're saying you're getting paid for it.
Yes,
it's actually not okay. So yeah, there's a lot of rules, but anyway,
there we go.
Digress.
Strike all of that.
Maybe we don't say
Canva Pro.
But definitely for businesses. I recently went to an event only the other week, a bit of a launch for design, learning a bit more about the new elements in Canva. It was a really cool experience, but it wasn't really, I've only been used to going to educator things, and it was for anyone using Canva. So I met people that work in marketing, people that own their own small businesses. It was very interesting.
That would be interesting.
It was. And
because we get siloed in education.
Yeah.
So.
And the way I use Canva was so different to how a lot of other people did. But I related to people who use it a lot for their social media. But when I was showing people at the table I was at how I use it in the classroom, they were just really blown away by that.
They would be.
It was really cool. Yeah. So then there's like for teams. So you can collaborate within your team. definitely good for business as well, and you have more storage on top of the Pro features. Then there's Canva Enterprise for a larger organization. So you've got more advanced controls, SSO sign-on, and support directly for you if you're at that tier. But then there's Canva for Education.
My favourite.
Yes, and so Canva is free, pro level for all teachers, all educators, preschool, childcare, teachers' aides, like
If
anyone.
you have an education email address,
Yes.
no troubles.
Yeah, so to get it, Canva for Education for free, you go to the Canva for Education sign-up page and you sign up with your school email account. And if your school isn't already on there, usually it's other people in your school have already done it before so it can find you. Otherwise, you just got to submit proof that you're a teacher. So if I've even done like, it was my name badge.
I just sent in my email address.
Yeah, you were lucky. Like there was another thing I couldn't do it for. So it was my school ID, and I think it was the account for your teacher accreditation, like your NESA card or something like that. But there's a lot of online support videos to show you how to do that. But another tier that we were very much involved with our diocese was Canva for districts. So if your school is individually, schools and teachers can be part of Canva for Education. But if your whole system might like to join Canva for districts, it's fantastic. A lot of work to set up, and it's very similar to the Canva Enterprise level.
Yep.
I remember having lots of Zoom meetings very often about the whole SSO and that kind of thing. But it basically signs you all in and you set it all up so each student and teacher is signed into a team for their school. And it makes so much easier to share within there. And with my students now, they don't have to type in my email address or anything. They just click. They have to write my first name, but then they can find me and share things directly with me and with their fellow students and collaborate a lot easier.
Yep.
And if other people from other teams share things with you, you can become part of that team, and then you have access to that. And you can share across teams. You can share things back. The biggest thing that happened when we rolled over, people freaking out because they'd only used Canva on their own personal account, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, everything's gone that I've made, but it wasn't gone. You can switch between your teams, and you can share stuff to yourself on your other teams, copy things to a team. And then that's also isn't that great because you can't always see it directly. You panic.
Yes.
So you've got to go to, you go to like home projects, search for ones shared to you, and then you'll see them all. But a lot of steps. So but it's free. It's wonderful. So basically,
I think maybe we should come back because wasn't the lady who started it? So the lady who started Canva is Australian.
Yes, it's an Australian thing. That's right. And it started in 2013. There was three people, a lady and two guys.
Oh, there you go.
We should know their names. I feel
well,
bad.
Melanie
write that
Perkins.
down.
I wrote it down. Melanie Perkins is the Australian lady. And I think she had an education background. Am I making that up?
Possibly.
I'd have to look it up.
We should know. Yeah. All right. So we just did a little bit of research and we found out
Canva is free for educators, primarily because it's a commitment to making design tools accessible for non-commercial educational purposes.
Love it.
Yep, aligns with the company's mission to democratize design.
Wow, I love that. Yeah. And I love that. It's also saying they want to build a user base of future professional designers by empowering teachers and students with creative digital literacy tools from a young age. Well, that is what we are all about. I love that.
That is true. And it really has because
100% it has.
It's really easy for young children to use.
And they love it. I love letting my students explore with it, and we've got lots of ideas of how we've done it. So it integrates really well with Google Classroom. So you might see when you go to share, you get this huge menu of all the ways you can share your designs. You can't print directly through it though, which is annoying.
To download.
Yes, download it and then print it. But you can share to Google Classroom. So as a teacher, you can set up an activity and link it to Canva in your Google Classroom, which is cool. Also link to Microsoft Teams, PowerPoint, and a lot of other tools it's integrated beautifully with as well. So I guess pros and cons, look, gosh, there's not a whole lot you can say badly about it, but it's
that it's busy. Oh, no, pros, hang on.
Pros, yeah. Pros, I would say very highly intuitive, dragging and dropping. The library of templates there is amazing that you can pick from. The options for creativity is amazing. Yeah.
Sometimes I think, though, that they're too good because there's no need to change anything. And if you want kids to be acting as designers, like it's just done already with the template.
True.
So.
But what's good too, it's all copyright compliance.
Which comes back to the original
Yes.
question, because you don't have to worry about any of that copyright stuff.
Yeah. And it's incredibly highly engaging with the students. Look, cons, we touched on this already. It can be overwhelming, particularly if you don't know where to start. But there are so many online webinars, tutorials. They have their own education courses page. I've done the Teacher Essentials course. It only took me about 40 minutes. That's really good. We were leading PD on Canva a fair bit last year, and we would suggest to teachers as a takeaway, go do that course, and then you get a nice little badge for LinkedIn. They've also got AI ones now. Oh, there's heaps of different ones.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And it's security-wise, I guess I like that point that it's a safe, walled garden environment for the students. So the teachers can create and manage student accounts within a private sort of space. So you don't have to worry about online interaction. However, I have found a con. So, of course, it was from students in my class. So we've been using it on and off a fair bit in my class in Year 4. And some boys were collaborating on a project. They were making just an interest one as an excuse to go on the computer, most likely. But then it turned into a big deal because I didn't realize there's a messaging feature. You can message like a chat, like a comment in slides and stuff. And these students were writing messages to one another on there, and it was pretty bad. And
but they could do that in any collaborative tool.
And that's right. And it was only the fact that another student came and told me that they saw swear words in it, and it was pretty bad. So said we had to go and deal with that issue. But I would not have even thought that they would even think to use that. But kids find a way. So I
remember when I was in about Year 4 or something, I remember sitting at a bank of Apple Mac things, the big desktops, and whatever it was, some sort of typing activity, and the girl who was with, I could say her name, but I won't because I remember, and a certain word was typed in to that computer, and someone saw over our shoulders. I remember the situation. I don't think I typed it. I think it was her, but it wouldn't.
You've never forgotten this, Rach.
I got in all this trouble because it was like a super rude word typed into the thing on the typing game. They're gonna
it's
do
just
it.
kids are kids.
That was
Yeah. But I guess I'll jump to like the practical applications of it that I've used, and that way I like to use it. So honestly, visual storytelling, one of our favorite things. We link it to nearly everything, but students can make book trailers, graphic novels, infographics for history projects. I love the fact it's collaborative, so they can all work on the same project. As a teacher, you can jump in to their project.
They can all be mean to each other on the same project.
Yes. A big one that I know you've done and been so clever at working out podcasting. Yes.
Do you want me to talk about that too? So it's the only downside is that it doesn't save as an MP3.
Yeah.
It saves as an MP4. But in terms of just being able to do a podcast in your classroom, it works and it's easy. So if you go into your templates and just type in podcasts, there's a whole bunch of them. It's essentially just talking, like if you're going to do the little... So in Canva, you could do a presentation where your video is in the little...
Oh, yeah.
You know how you do that. Claire knows, but for our listeners, you can have your little face chatting away over the top of a slide deck. So what you do is just turn the camera off, so it's just recording
your voice. Yeah, and that's where you go to uploads, record yourself, and you can choose talking head or just your voice. Yeah,
and so that's sort of the gist of how you would go about making a podcast is to put your voice over the top of a slide.
Oh, so good. You could do that for so many KLAs.
It's easy because to make a podcast properly, if you wanted to be putting it up, we could do a podcast on that, but there's a lot of steps, and it's probably more steps than you would do for a classroom project.
Yeah.
So this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Posters. Oh, the posters I've written because, my goodness, I think that's when I first started using it in a comfortable, easy way with students was make a poster about safety or make a poster about,
because posters by hand are so frustrating.
They take forever.
Someone's handwriting's too small, but you don't have the option then to say, well, just make that bigger, because on Canva or any digital publishing program, you're just going to drag it to make it bigger or increase your font size. Whereas if the poor kids have spent all that time doing it by hand, then they're rubbing it out like, It's just not the right tool for the job.
It's great. Yeah, I do love it. And you can print them. We've done that before for sure. Examples that I've done very recently, last term, my students had to do a convict presentation. So I just said you could choose slides or Canva. They nearly all picked Canva. And I think they like it because I showed them how you could look up olden day maps and like the scroll looking. So it looked more authentic and they loved that. And then you can put music in it and they love the animated elements.
That's the good thing with the podcast too. It had lots of music that you might use for your intro and sound effects.
Yeah, effective ones. And actually, because some AI features, our district has turned a lot of them off for under 13s, but then some are available. And one of them was when you record yourself, you can actually use an AI voice. So they wanted to sound a bit British. And so they typed what they wanted it to say as the voiceover narration. Oh, if I can turn it on now. There we go. Okay. So the other one, we did a persuasive writing piece and they had to make an advertisement about the big battery rescue. So our school takes part in that every year and it's this big initiative where you collect batteries and then they get recycled. And so part of linking that to our persuasive unit on writing, we thought let them make one. And so we watched a few videos, but then because you've got all these really great stock reels, so they can make like B-roll, like a real ad. And but then their writing piece that they wrote was that they had to record themselves, and it was really cool. And they enjoyed that. Some wanted their face in it, some didn't. Yeah, so that was a cool way. Green screen is so easy in it.
I haven't used a green screen. Wow. Good to know.
It's a really good one. So yeah, you just literally have whatever background you want in a video or a slide deck.
Yeah,
and then the same thing, record yourself. And then what I like to do is, because you have the option of a little round circle or a square of yourself.
Yeah.
But then I always go background remover and remove the background. So it looks like I'm like.
Oh, much better. Yes.
Very cool. And you're making an app. We're going to do this for our last little thing for forces soon. And I've done this in Keynote before.
Yeah.
But it's basically where you're making slide deck and you're showing them how to just use hyperlinks to link to the next one. But they're going to use the elements to make an app of, tell me what you know about forces. Like, so how does make it, and then they can pick like a button. And you can even you've got the frames of the phone that look like an app.
That will look nice.
Yeah, so then they can like choose that. Okay, link to slide 2 on forces, or link to that one, will link to there, or link back to home. So they're essentially building
like a little mini website almost.
Yeah, well, like it, but it's going to look like an
app.
Yeah, so that was a fun way for them to use Canva, but to share their knowledge on forces. And like we said, you can't print directly, but you can definitely just download things and share them. We use Seesaw a lot to share our work, and the only problem is if they share, you can share a link. Because the students and I are on the same school team, I can open it no problem.
But the parents
can't see it. And teachers can still share anyone with the link.
Yes.
But students can't do that, I've noticed. So often with their beautiful videos they've made, we download them as an MP4. And then upload them. The only problem was some girls have gone all out with an animation on every like sentence, and like it's too much. And then it even comes up and says, look, these elements won't work as well when we've condensed it to an MP4.
Yep.
Do you still want to download it? And they have, and it's not as good, and they get really upset. They're like, oh, but it was much better. And I said, I know, guys, but then they can log on at home and show their parents. I've told them that too. Yeah. The background remover tool.
I had this on my list.
Magic Eraser. If you just go to click on edit an image of anything, I've done that so many times. We just want a little bit of it. Like I like to use even my Bitmoji, still the old school ones, like for different things, and parts of it I might not want. And so like, some have like a lame, like, okay, in the background. I've used Magic Eraser to get rid of that. And then I've just got the image of myself and remove the background, then you've got luck. Yeah.
I think it's super handy for anyone doing their school socials and you've got a beautiful photo, but there's someone in the background looking awkward, or there's that child who can't be on
photograph,
can't be in photos. So you can just literally click and
magic grab or magic erase.
Yep. And it will fill in the background for you. So,
it's so good.
If the kids are all standing out on the oval and you've had to remove one, then it'll just fill in oval in the background.
And Canva AI, Canva code. Oh my God.
I think maybe you could save that for a whole episode.
We totally could. I'll just say very quickly that it's basically that menu that you see when you can go, it says code for me or something in the corner, and you can ask it to code for you an app of any kind. And I've done a little play with make me an app for a story idea generator and come up with, like, you can roll like a dice on there and they can find and land on a setting, a character, a complication, a solution, and then they've got to write a quick write. And to share it with the students, you've just got to embed it in a design. You can't sort of just leave it on its own. And I found if you don't put it in a design, it doesn't save.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got to, you can't just sort of,
it doesn't come back to it.
Yeah, so but it's all about your prompts. That's a whole thing we could honestly do on its own, because Gemini Canvas is so similar, and that's what I could do a whole lesson on there.
With all of these things from these big tech companies, they want you using their stuff. So they're very good at putting out content that will help you use these tools. And so we're just skipping over to give you a bit of an insight, but you can Google it and you'll find
all these
tutorials and you'll find information on how to use these better.
Yeah, for sure. So there's image creation. We've had a play with this. Really cool for students to make an image of something they've written about, or vice versa.
Because it's really good for descriptive writing, because what is in your mind is often not what translates to the page. And when you're asking an AI to create the image, you have to be descriptive to get what's in your mind. So it's a really good way of practicing descriptive writing. Yeah,
it's just an AI agent, really. You can ask it to write this or make this for you. And as an example, at the PD I went to, we had this prompt that we had to put in, and it was like, I'm running a presentation on introducing WHS to my staff or whatever. How could I make it in an engaging way? And then you could choose, I might make it a pamphlet, I might make it a video, I might make it. And then you've got all the elements and it tells you to pick. It's very cool. Saves you a lot of time. But like we've said, it's like anything with AI. The prompting is very important, because you're only going to get the quality of what you put into it. And so teacher resources, look, oh my gosh, worksheets, like so easy.
I hate worksheets.
I know, I don't use them either.
I hate giving them. I hate marking them. I hated doing them when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, there's heaps on there. Sometimes you need them for different things.
Sometimes you do. They have their place.
But I like that sometimes you can get things that are just in PDF form, but you want to edit it and you can't. So you can upload a PDF to Canva and my gosh, you can edit it. It's so good. And the folders that sharing across teams I mentioned earlier, finding resources. And the other thing that I've explored with, I haven't used it with my own class yet, but they have got classwork in Canva. That's probably in my cons list, because it's not very user-friendly, I don't feel. So
and if you're already using another...
Yes, if you're already on Google Classroom where you Seesaw, that kind of thing. But the idea of it is just say you create a template of an activity you want your students to create, and just say you're not on Google Classroom or anything like that. You could then put it on classwork and you make your own class and add all your students to your class on Canva. It goes to all the people that are listed in your class. Then the only thing is, once you've done that, and I've tried it with my friend Tyler, we were trialing it, and we couldn't therefore see the template anymore once we'd shared it. And we're like, and it wasn't until we went on, like a student completed it and shared it back with us, we saw it then. Oh. Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I don't quite like. Surely it's going to get a bit better, but then you have the option to mark it, give it feedback, and then send it back to them. But once you sent it back, it was gone. Oh. Yeah, you know what I mean? So a Google Classroom is way better.
Well, and also, hopefully you could just go and sit next to them and give you feedback too.
There's that. So, yes. Now, in terms of accreditation courses, there's a lot, actually. So Canva offers, through their Canva Design School, there's things like Graphic Design Essentials, Canva for Work. These are courses that you can get a certificate to show your proficiency, and they're digital tickets to add to your portfolio. They're not like a full-on external thing. It's just something nice to build up your knowledge of using Canva, and it's all ready-made, ready to go.
Yeah, and sometimes you get early access to things. And
And
if you've done these sorts of, you end up on mailing lists where you might get extra access.
Like we said, the Essentials one is for teachers is very, very good. If you're new to it and not sure. There's other elements, and I've become part of one of these. So there's a Canva Creator one. So people that are doing a lot of content in Canva, photographers, illustrators, teachers who are doing a lot of work and sharing it widely in Canva. You can apply to become part of like these little cohorts. There's template creators, element creators, or education specialty creators. So you have to do a certain amount of posts each month, or you have to do it. There's a lot of elements to it. There are some people, but that's their thing. And
do you get paid for it?
I don't think so. I have no idea. I don't know. But then there's Canva verified experts.
They're not.
I don't think
this
so.
This is what always bothers me, listeners, is that these companies want people out there spruiking their products, and they want you to do it for free in your own time. So
yeah.
Like we are on a podcast. We're doing it for the teachers, not for the programs.
Well, the one that I've just been lucky enough to be part of is a Canva verified expert. So I'm a Canvassador. So that is someone that is recognized for their extensive knowledge of using Canva and empowering the Canva community. And you're part of this platform where you get first dibs on some new things that are coming out. They have a monthly call for Canvassadors. They do run things at their office in Sydney. I've been invited 3 times, and both days were things I was presenting for Google at the same time. What are the odds? So I haven't had a chance to go and meet the lovely ladies that run that in person. And I love all that stuff, being up to date with things. I've got my Creative Digitech teacher page that I love, and anytime I'm featuring something I do at school with students, I love to make little videos of it. But yeah, I do it all the time. But yeah,
you do, and I don't. And that's why Claire is a Canvassador.
Yes. All right. So differentiation and access, like with everything, some students that might have low fine motor skills might find this a bit tricky.
I think
you don't reckon? On the iPad, I think would be better than on the Chromebook with clicking and dragging.
I think whatever they're used to is the way to go. And I speak from personal experience with my own little learner who really struggles with fine motor and is so disheartened when his vision for something can't, when he's trying to do it with pencil and paper and you just can't do it.
So this
and Canva has been so empowering for him.
I love that.
He just loves it, and he goes to it, uses it not often for school because they're not doing stuff with it, they're little, but at home, Claire and I are at home today, and you come up to our back door and it's covered in signs, things that you might need to know.
I saw that when I was wondering what that was.
There's always signs, and he makes them in Canva, like, because of wet paint, right? He was like, I'll make a sign. I'll make a wet paint sign.
See, he sees a need and he does something about it with Canva.
He does. He uses Canva, and he's like, I had a holiday, and so he's going to make his holiday video in Canva. And it's his go-to. And for something, we've said be careful because it's overwhelming. There's a lot of features.
Well, yes. Visual design anxiety comes up. I saw that.
Yes, but, if the learner I'm talking about now is very close to my heart, can use it so well. I just
that's lovely to hear.
I think that it's a way of differentiating what is already a difficult
I totally
task.
agree with you.
Yeah.
And I think I've mentioned this before, but I had a similar student that I taught a couple of years ago, and pen and paper was
too frustrating.
Very frustrating, caused a lot of meltdowns, a lot of work refusal. But I found for students with those needs, like giving them something that can achieve success in a way they never dreamed of, to hear their work come to life is very special. And I used Apple Clips with this student, but this would totally work exactly the same as a way for her to record her thoughts. Because I realised trying to write about a religion passage or write about something was so hard for her, but then to be able to just use her voice and explain using pictures, she actually used Scratch Junior as well. So I'm like, she does actually know this.
And I think too,
how
digital tools allow you to edit so easly, which
Yeah.
pencil and papers just don't do. Not to say that they're not important. They're so important as well, but
Yeah.
know your kids.
Yeah. All right. So now in terms of curriculum guru-ness, so
Well, I was thinking,
that's the technical term.
and when I thought this is where the term "it's a blank canvas" came from, because there's some really obvious connections to, say, your digital technologies, because you're showing your learning with the tool. You might say design thinking or digital literacy perhaps, but they're using that ICT capability to be able to show what they can do in other areas. So I think come in really nicely to the ICT capability
It covers
for the
everything.
general capability.
And you can link it to so many KLAs, like we've already mentioned quite a lot anyway.
One of the real strengths of Canva is how easily it supports multimodal, or these are sometimes called hybrid texts in the different syllabus documents, whether you're looking at the Australian curriculum or New South Wales or others. Across the stages, students are expected not only to read and understand these multimodal texts, but also to create them. And what the syllabus is looking for is that students can combine print with image, sound, visual elements, movement, even symbolic elements, rather than just relying on words alone. Canva makes this type of composition really accessible, where the students are doing, the examples we've talked about, be it the poster or the podcast, but also things like short videos, which we haven't really touched on much at all, or different types of media texts. This is really important when you get into high school, particularly up into stage 6, because as you can imagine, the complexity required for our students to be creating is only increasing. And so being able to access different tools and copyright-free images, videos, etc., really helps them to be able to create meaning through things like layout, visuals, audio, and different design choices, not just that written language. So Canva is a practical way to support students in understanding how these different modes work together to shape meaning for different audiences and different purposes. Well, on that, I think I had a few things.
5 faves?
Because I was thinking, what are some things that people could just try if they haven't tried already?
Yeah.
So I talked about podcasting. That was really good.
Oh, brand kits.
I really like brand kits.
Me too.
So on the left-hand side where you've got like your toolbar, you've got home and projects and whatever. There's one in there called brand kit. Now, if you're on an enterprise group thing, you may not have access. It has to be turned on by your admin.
Yeah.
But if you're just in your regular education one, you should have it. And it's for businesses, so they can have their logo and their brand colours and their brand fonts in
it's so good.
there. So when they're creating a project, they can just go straight to brand kit and all the, the hex codes and that are all there. They don't have to go looking for them. I think that's perfect for a classroom theme. So I'm very primary here, but you think, right, this year it's going to be a tropical theme and my door has a pineapple on it. And so
you can do all your displays. We didn't even talk about
that.
Yeah,
so for the year, especially because it's sort of not quite the time of year, but soon
getting there.
Classes are coming around, refreshing for the year. So you're thinking, right, you could set up a brand kit for your theme so that then whenever you make something else, your parent presentation or book art, if for the covers of your books, whatever you're doing, you've already got that in your brand. So it just saves a little bit of time. So I'd say take a look at brand kit. We've talked about background remover. So good.
Yes.
Bulk create. So if you have a class list in Google, and I'm imagining your desk labels with the names on or your tub labels.
You totally can do all that.
Yeah, so you can bulk create from a Google Sheet or similar.
So good.
Putting up your data.
I have seen little videos of that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a really handy little tip. And the last one, which I think is good, I think it's got scope for improvement, but I reckon when AI is embedded a little bit more, I feel like this could get better, is design accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
So in your design, you go to File and you look down and look for accessibility. It will assess the accessibility of what you've created.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
What?
So I ran a document, a PDF that I'd made. It was a single page thing. And it was like, actually, this font might be a little bit small. Consider a better contrast between colours for visually impaired. There's something else in there too about slowing transitions. So if you've got a presentation, I guess that, maybe
I knew that because that
on.
would have been great for that. She'd know had that hers was so busy and it wouldn't download.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
there you go. Always learning. So it's in File, design accessibility. I think there's so much scope there, Canva, if you're listening, that if there was an AI agent that would assess it, on lots of different, so who's your audience? This is my audience. And give you
little
some
feedback.
That could be really useful.
Oh, I bet it's coming.
I'm just inventing features it doesn't have yet. But
as we do.
Yeah, so they're some of my things that you might want to look at tomorrow.
I love that, Rach. That's so good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well,
let's go back to the original question. Did we answer it well? Well, yes.
Yes.
So to answer our original question, we think that Canva is definitely safe to use. Get your kids onto it tomorrow if you haven't already. And you can rest easy knowing
And the
that
copyright.
anything that they're using in there is copyright free.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's about it for us for this episode. We hope you enjoyed and learned a lot about Canva and how you can use it in the classroom with your students. Go and check out Canva for Education. If you're a teacher and you didn't realise you can sign up for free, that's your first thing. Please also follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram and on TikTok. We have a website, takeitapanotch.com.au.
And you can email us on takeitapanotchau@gmail.com.
Thank you. So please send in more requests for episodes or send us a voice note even on Instagram of something you might like to have. You can be our next listener question. That would be wonderful. And we hope that you enjoyed learning how to
Take it up a notch
with Canva.
Take it up a notch. And we're rolling.
Oh, I can't
is
hear
it-
myself.
Why can't I hear myself?
No.
Oh, is it because I turned it right down? Hello, hello,
Oh,
hello.
now I can.
There we yeah. So that is the volume. There we go. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to your two digital technology experts. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us for the last 10 episodes of Tech It Up a Notch. Letting you know that this is our last one for 2025. We'll take a break over the school holiday break as we usually do, and we'll be back in early February with our next episode. See you then.